Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Alumni Support Business Roundtable. This is specifically for our alumni of the MBLEX Review course. This program was put together. We're doing this 4 times a year for you, where we come together as a community and just charge our batteries. Hear from other licensed massage therapists and their profession and their experience of what they're the agenda. My name is Jody Scholes, and I'm your MC for today. Our agenda around there, we're moving into a presentation on burnout. And our own Tara Kolajczyk is going to talk to you about how to avoid burnout and how to recognize it. Let me first give you a little background on Ms. Tara. Ms. Tara is our operations manager. Many of you get notes from her on the regular um, to uh, to tell you about meetings that are coming up, to send you links. If you're still studying for the MBLEX, you'll be having your tests cleared. But Tara Kolajczyk has been a massage therapist for 22 years. Yeah, 22 years. Isn't that crazy? She has her master's degree in marketing and communication, and she teaches marketing courses online for 2 colleges in addition to her massage therapy work. Her topic today is on burnout, how to recognize it, and how to prevent it. I'm going to turn the floor over to Ms. Tara.
All right. Hi, everyone. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So I'm going to be talking to you about burnout, what it is, what causes it, and how you can manage it. So burnout is the emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excessive and prolonged stress. I'm sure we've all had stress in our life before. We know what that feels like. When it becomes this constant everyday feeling, this is where it could potentially lead to burnout. And I don't want you to think, oh, just because you're stressed, you're going to have burnout. That is not the case. It's this continuous state, week after week, day after day, month after month, that is going to lead to that burnout. It can occur when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. It can leave people feeling exhausted, empty, cynicism, oh my gosh, I knew I was going to stump on that word, cynicism, which makes you just feel like that you don't identify with your job anymore. You're not feeling connected to that job. You don't feel like wanting to go do that job every day. Feelings of reduced professional ability and unable to cope with demands of life. So just not able to fully be yourself, be present in the day. There are 5 causes of burnout, and we're going to go through each one in more detail, but the 5 causes are unreasonable time pressure, lack of communication and support from management, lack of overall clarity, unmanageable workload, and unfair treatment. So a few questions you want to ask yourself when you think you're have burnout and kind of the causes of burnout. For your unreasonable time pressure, do you feel a balance between client appointments, administrative duties, and personal care? Does your schedule allow you to have the appropriate attention for each client? Are you being rushed in between clients? Is, your 15 minutes turning into really like 3 to 5 minutes and you just don't have the time that you need? Your workload, do you have boundaries set for your employer? When you're off the clock, are they still hounding you about work? When you're on the clock and dealing with a client, are they trying to put more demands on you? So are you setting those healthy boundaries where I'm with a client, please don't talk to me about laundry at this moment. Wait till my client is not present for that. How many clients are you comfortable seeing weekly, daily, monthly? Are you checking in with yourself? Let's say you're first starting out and you say, yeah, I definitely can do 20 a week. And then suddenly a couple weeks, a month goes by and you're like, 20 feels a lot and overwhelming? Are you checking in with yourself to see if that's where you need to cut back, and talking to your employer about that? When is your time off? Are you having days scheduled off throughout your week? Are you having times where either going on vacation or doing a stay vacation for a couple of days? Are you taking time for your family? Is that time off being respected by your employer? These might be conversations you have to have with management to make sure that you're balancing it. And if you're self-employed, time with your conversations with yourself on, you know, am I answering a client's text on a Sunday? How quickly am I responding to that text? It's 9 o'clock at night and my client just sent me a message. Am I respond to that or am I going to wait till 8 o'clock in the morning when it's normal business hours? These are things that you have to set boundaries for yourself as self-employed. Communication and support from management. Does management team recognize you needing breaks and time away? Are they encouraging you to take breaks? Are they encouraging you, hey, like you haven't had a 10-minute break in a while or a half-hour break? Have you eaten? Have you gotten some water? Have you used the restroom? Like, are they checking in with you to make sure your schedule works with normal body functions of eating, drinking, and using the restroom? Do they listen to your opinions and recommendations? A lot goes a long way with management. They don't have to take your opinions and recommendations. They could say, okay, thank you for recommending that. We're not going to move forward at this moment, but are they at least hearing you out? Or are they just brushing you off like that's not really that big of a deal? So being heard. Are you feeling seen and heard? Lack of role clarity. Make sure, especially as an employee, that you know who is doing what for you and what you need to do for yourself. So who's rescheduling the clients? You're the therapist, so you should be recommending when the client should come in, but is it your job to reschedule them? Is it your job to pull up the calendar and find out when they should be coming in? So make sure that you're clear on, I'm telling my client to come in weekly. Am I the one that pulls up the schedule and schedules that, or do they go back to the front desk and schedule it? Make sure you know who's doing that. Who does the laundry, not just the washing, but also the folding and the putting in the way. So maybe your front desk staff is the one that washes all of it, folds all of it, but the therapist is the one that has to put it back. Do you know which role you play in laundry? Maybe you don't have to do anything. So make sure you understand what role you play. Are you the one that cleans and resets the room? Most of the time, the therapist is going to be the one that cleans and resets the room. Sometimes you may not be. Maybe your schedule's really packed and the front desk staff steps in. Maybe another therapist steps in for you. So make sure you know if you're the one that has to reset the room or if somebody else is going to be helping. Or even if you do have help, maybe you don't have help and you know every time you have to make sure that room is reset for either yourself or somebody else. Unfair treatment. Does everybody follow the same rules? And if you are working with management or are part of management, it is key that everybody follows the same rules. There's always going to be exceptions, always. But as long as you have good guidelines and rules to follow through, everybody's going to respect the fact that everybody is following the same rules. Let's say like you're always on time, but somebody is always 5 minutes late. That is going to make you feel like you're being treated unfairly. How come they always get to be late? Okay. Are their therapists considered the favorites? And I'm sure you've all experienced this where somebody is considered favorites. Management is very much allowed to have favorites. They're just not allowed to be showing favoritism. You're always like, and as a teacher, like you always have that student that maybe you connect more with. And I had this happen when I used to teach. You have that student that you connect more with. But my goal as a teacher was to teach everybody fairly and everybody to have these conversations with me and that I was somebody they could come and talk to. So I made sure that I treated everybody the same, even if somebody has a better connection with me on a personal level. I don't let that interfere with the management of the classroom and management of a team. There are 5 stages of burnout, and we will talk about each one individually, but you have the honeymoon phase, the onset of stress, chronic stress, burnout, and habitual burnout. The honeymoon phase, this is you just got that new job task, you feel energized, creative, you're very excited about what you're going to be doing. This is the very beginning. You cannot wait to dive in, to get started. You have good coping skills, you understand how to manage everything, and maybe you're over putting into your job. So you're giving extra because you're very, very excited. So that is this honeymoon phase. You're very, very excited about this new role, this new task. The onset of stress, you're going to start realizing some days are a little bit harder than others. It is very normal to have stressful days. Your goal is to learn to manage those stressful days. So, do you need to rest on those stressful days? Do you need to, check in with yourself more? So, onset of stress, hopefully we stop it there. Hopefully we prevent the burnout from going further at that point. The next stage is chronic stress. It is becoming hard to balance everything. Everything's going to be, the stress is going to be there more on a regular basis, almost every day. You're going to start really seeing your symptoms become intensified. So let's say you get headaches from stress, they might be showing up every single day now. So this is leading into the chronic stress. Now you've reached the burnout and you are no longer coping at all with your burnout. The stress is consistent. You're not coping with it. You don't have the coping skills for it. And you're kind of losing your energy for your job, your role. You really just dread every day. And then habitual burnout. This is where the symptoms are starting to really affect your everyday life, whether you're at work or not at work. You're going to have mental, physical, emotional problems from this habitual burnout. The image I picked here is somebody that is basically doom scrolling on their phone. And I'm sure some of us have experienced doom scrolling where you're just sitting there and you're like, I literally cannot do anything but sit here and scroll through my phone and hope something makes me check out for the day. And I'm done and I can just fall asleep at some point. That is what is doom scrolling, is you just zone out on that phone. So that is why I picked this one. I think it's a good representation of, I think, society now, where we just retreat into our phones as kind of a safety net. So burnout in massage therapy, it is quite high in this industry. We do have a lot to manage. We do have a lot of tasks put on us, not just the massage, but also, you know, rescheduling. I mean, just think, for me, some days I can have 4 or 5 clients messaging me looking for appointments. I'm trying to coordinate 4 or 5 people, not give them the same time just in case somebody is like, yeah, I'll take this one, and somebody else says that. So I'm trying to manage all of that. I have to communicate with the other therapists. So just in that little task, you can easily see how, like, oh my gosh, this is a very stressful moment. So it is high in our industry. There are a lot of demands placed on massage therapists, and it is your job, not just as independent, but also as employees, to recognize and set those boundaries with your employers. Overscheduling can lead to burnout. We recommend right about the 20 hours per week. Some people, of course, can do more, some people can do less, but 20 hours is kind of like that golden number where you're considered more full time. Um, if you go over that, just be cautious. That is going to lead to burnout much quicker. And of course, you're going to head more into the part time area. Lack of recovery, we cannot express this enough, that your body needs time, not just in between clients, but in between work days, to recover. Your stretching, your recentering yourself, your meditation, whatever you need to bring yourself back to center. Your clients can be demanding physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that. And so always give yourself time to recover for your body, but also don't forget food and water. You need those things. You need to drink, you need to eat, you need to use the restroom, you need to take care of yourself. And if we take care of ourselves, we can take care of our clients better. So, managing burnout. How do we manage it as massage therapists? Understand your physical limits. I know if I try to do more than 4 massages in a day, my wrist starts hurting me and it's just an absolute not happening. So 4 is right where I like to be. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. Your body's going to tell you when it's had enough and you need to listen and make adjustments weekly, daily, monthly, make those adjustments and pay attention to your body throughout your entire time as a massage therapist. Maybe right now you're comfortable doing 25 in 25 a week. In 5 years, maybe you drop it down to 20. In 10 years, you might be doing 15. Um, Let it go, leave work at home. I know this can be very difficult, but you're sometimes clients are going to tell you stuff that's emotionally draining. You have a client that their husband's dying or did die. You have to be compassionate towards that client, but also step away and not let that seep into your life because you're going to have compassion and empathy for that client. And you don't want that to affect your daily life and something that you take home with you. Gain control over your finances. And we did talk a lot about taxes, but your finances are going to be a huge stressor for you, for everybody that isn't currently. I'm surprised because I feel like everybody's stressed about their finances and what's going on. So it is a big stressor. Figure out finances. How many massages do you have to do to stay stable? How much are you going to put into savings? How much do you have to save for taxes if you have to save for taxes? Gain control of it. Do a personal budget. Know what you have to pay the bills, know what you're allowed to spend, figure it out for yourself. It is very, very, very important to have that budget for yourself and figure it out. A budget isn't about saving money, a budget's about knowing where your money goes. You need to know where your money is being spent. Okay. So it isn't about I can't save anything this month. But do you know why you can't save anything this month? Figure out why. Be kind to yourself. I Be kind to yourself. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And that is perfectly okay. So be kind to yourself. You're allowed to make mistakes. Maybe you let a client cross a boundary that you shouldn't have. And you have to check in with yourself and be like, why did I let them say this in the session and not stop them? Why did I allow my employer to push me into taking this extra shift? Be kind to yourself. You're allowed to make mistakes and figure out those mistakes. I know for me, one thing that I keep struggling with is taking off every other Saturday for a massage. And the one Saturday, I scheduled a appointment on my day off, and I was very angry with myself, like super angry with myself. Did not want to go in to do the session, and so now I'm beating myself up because why do I do this to myself? Why do I do it? I keep doing this. Why do I keep scheduling clients on my day off? I had to step back and be like, we scheduled it for a reason. And so you're going to go in, you're going to make the best of the session, and you're going to leave with a good attitude. Go get your coffee afterwards, make yourself happy. Go get it beforehand, it doesn't matter. But go in, do your session, and don't schedule it again. Learn from your mistakes. So be kind to yourself as much as possible. I love to reward myself for doing stuff I don't want to do. It's probably not a good thing that it's always food, but I do like to reward myself. So I stop at Dunkin's on my Saturdays that I have to work. Always. That is my like, you're going to work on a Saturday. Here's your Dunkin's. Now be happy. Learn to say no. This goes with what I was just saying. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to be like, no, absolutely not. No, I don't have that time available, or no, I can't work that schedule. It's a complete sentence. Please use no when you need to. And self care, exercise, regular massages, stretching, meditation, whatever you need to do to make you feel better. For me, it is exercise. I exercise, I think I use this in my introduction presentation. I exercise almost every single day. It is absolutely important for not just my physical, but my mental health to do some sort of exercise. And it could be a 20-minute walk, or it could be my hour and a half of strength and cardio that I do. Either one's fine as long as I try to just do something. And here's something I've been really working on. It goes back to being kind to yourself. If I miss a day, not to beat myself up over it. It's okay. I've done enough for the week that it's okay if I miss a day. Regular massages, you can trade for massages. I choose to pay for massages because it needs to be my time. So when I go in for my massage, I'm paying because it's my time to disconnect from the world. So I do get my massages regularly, monthly. Try to, you know, go back to the finances. But I do try monthly to get massages regularly. If I can't get my regular massages, I make sure I focus on my stretching, foam rolling, working on my own forearms, some sort of self treatment to keep myself focused. Thank you guys so much for listening to this presentation about burnout. I hope you guys have learned something to recognize burnout in yourself and help you prevent burnout. If you do have any questions, you guys know you can message on Patreon. I respond to those. You can also email the LMT Victory at massagegrad.com and I can respond to any questions you might have. And if you have any questions right now, you can drop them in the chat.
Thank you so much, Tara. That is fantastic. Oh my goodness, I learned so much about burnout. I didn't realize it was like so organized. You know that you can see it coming and great suggestions on what to do about it too. I love the one about the clarity with your boss or the clarity at work. Super helpful and empowering. Thank you for that. I see lots of
Absolutely.
thank yous coming in the chat. And if all right, so some closing comments. Some closing remarks. Thank you very much to Tara for her presentation on burnout. Fantastic. Thank you very much to Allison for being our guest speaker. High quality guest speakers at this alumni business roundtable, baby. That's right. That's right. Um, and we have, is it time for the announcement? So as a reminder, um, Jody 15 is the code for your discount code for body butter. Our next business roundtable, thanks for asking, Kesha. Our next business roundtable is June 30th. So June 30th, 12 to 2, it's another Monday. We're doing these the last Monday of the quarter. So that's why we're here today, last Monday of the quarter. So we'll June 30th, last Monday of the quarter. And that will be on expanding your services, specializations, getting referrals, and selecting your CEs. That'll be our topics for June 30th. For helping to organize this. She is just been has been instrumental and essential in, for example, she organized all of those classes. Tara organized those 44 classes in section. Doesn't sound like something she would do? Yeah, yeah. And she was like, you know what we could do? We could sell this, or we could give it to our members for free. And I was like, yes. All right, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And so very excited. So Tara, thank you for your help and your support in making this business roundtable the reality and all of the things you do behind the scenes as well. So, but that's all for today, guys. Um, for many of you, so no MBLEX class this week. Taking this week off. So no, you've heard Tara talk about self-care. You heard Allison talk about self-care. You get Thursday off. Yeah. So maybe get a schedule a massage this week. How about that? How about that? Mhm. So, but we'll come together with the business mentoring, our small group of business mentoring on April 8th. And then we'll be back together again on Thursday, April 10th for our MBLEX review. So have a wonderful afternoon. See you soon.